The most news in the morning. CNN's American Morning. Weekday, 6 a.m. Eastern.
Well, he was a former teen idol, Kirk Cameron. Now he's on a crusade to debunk evolution.
He's now a born-again Christian and part of a group that wrote a new 50-page introduction to Darwin's Manifesto to celebrate its 150th anniversary. He's hoping that college kids add it to their list of things to read on winter break. Our Carol Costello is live in Washington with more on this morning. And Carol, you've got a copy of the book with you.
I do have a copy of the book, and here it is. It looks just like, a normal copy of Charles Darwin's book, and it has this special introduction that kind of looks like it's just part of the book. Creationists, thwarted by court rulings that creationism cannot be taught in most schools, have come up with this new tactic. They're using Charles Darwin's classic with additions. Cameron's ministry says it handed out 170,000 copies of On the Origin of Species at 100 universities across the country. The question is, will it work?
Packed up a free book, yeah. There you go. Thank you.
Volunteers from the Living Waters Ministry hope to pass out thousands of copies of Charles Darwin's On the Origin of Species at universities across the country.
Why are you so passionate about this?
Because it matters. It impacts a person's eternal destiny.
They're not passing out Darwin's book as he wrote it, but with an introduction disputing evolution. On Living Waters' website, Kirk Cameron explains it this way.
An entire generation is being brainwashed by atheistic evolution without even hearing the alternative.
Cameron, along with Living Waters founder Ray Comfort, are determined students learn about creationism, the belief that God created man. So they've added a 50-page introduction to Darwin's book, alleging, among other things, Adolf Hitler's undeniable connection to evolutionary theory, Darwin's racism, and his disdain for women.
All I want to do is confront young people to think about what they believe and realize there obviously had to be an initial cause. We believe in the free exchange of ideas, and those who are open-hearted will appreciate what we've done.
Their effort to discredit Darwin hasn't exactly been smooth.
I'm afraid that on that basis, I can't accept your book.
But that's not to say professors across the country want Cameron's group thrown off campuses.
You've got the ER.
Professor Kenneth Miller teaches biology at Brown. He's also a devout Catholic.
It's something I would want my students to get a hold of and tear apart.
Not literally, but intellectually. Miller says the introduction is mostly filled with propaganda and personal attacks.
I think one of the most scurrilous things about this introduction is to imply that Darwin was a racist and a sexist, that he was responsible, for example, for the Nazi ideology that led to the Holocaust and so forth. This is absolute nonsense.
And he says no one's soul will be lost because they believe in Darwin's science-based discovery. The Catholic Church believes God created the universe, and the science of evolution explains how he did it. Kirk Cameron would not talk with us on camera about his efforts, but he did send us pictures.
1, 2, 3, Darwin!
That's him at UCLA, handing out his version of Origin of the Species.
And a couple of people did ask for his autograph as well. If you're wondering if it's legal to add your own introduction to an existing book, it is. Darwin's book has been around for, 150 years? So it's in the public domain, and that means you can add an addition like an introduction.